What was your first thought like when you saw your this thing? Ki, finally, relief more than anything else.
Yes, sir, definitely. It was relief for sure, and definitely happy for sure because when I saw the result, I was not expecting such a huge jump, but then definitely relief was the first reaction. So this was my fourth attempt, and
Yes.
I had started giving. I had worked for a year after my graduation. I had done my graduation in engineering, so I had worked for a year in IT, and I had given one attempt during that time with the job, but it wasn't a serious attempt. मुझे identify हुए कि this is my knowledge gap and this is relatively a core topic या जो मुझे पता होनी चाहिए थी rather than just कि कोई factual knowledge है. I used to add it in my original source only, in my notes or the basic source. There is no guarantee in this exam or the unpredictability is always there.
So what was the mindset that you entered the interview hall with? मतलब कुछ certain calmness and composure कुछ ज़्यादा ही था या like how was that?
So definitely calmness was there, or the thing was that I went with that mindset that you have reached the last stage.
Tell me, what was your sociology optional preparation strategy? How did you go about it?
Sir, in socio itself, firstly I relied on my class notes that were there. So those were my first source itself.
Did this exam adversely affect your relationships and your social life in very drastic ways?
So I wouldn't say that it affected in drastic way. Yes, definitely because of the exam, I was very much in isolation.
Hi Ankita bete.
Hello.
Once again bete, heartiest congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's a wonderful result.
Thank you so much, sir.
Have you like surprised yourself?
Yes, sir, it was surprising, definitely. I was not expecting such a huge jump. So obviously happy and surprised both.
So like how did you take it like when you first saw your rank? Though this is what you were aiming for, frankly, right? You were already in service, so this
Yeah.
was your objective. But it is a even for that, for a jump, it's a very, very good. What was your last rank? The last time around?
303.
203.
303.
303. Wonderful, yeah. Right. So what was your first thought like when you saw your this thing? Ki, finally, relief more than anything else?
Yes, sir, definitely. It was relief for sure. And definitely happy for sure because when I saw the result, I was not expecting such a huge jump, but then definitely relief was the first reaction.
कि इस चक्रव्यूह से अब आप बाहर हो गए.
Yes.
More than anything else. And so like did you call up your parents or were you with family? How was it?
Yeah, so actually I was alone at home when the result had come. So I had called up my parents after that. So my dad was had just left for office. He was
Ah,
on the way, so he came back when I told him that the result had come. So he was definitely happy that again it's there and all. So that day actually I hadn't told them that today or something we are expecting the results again. So
अच्छा.
first they were like, okay, that the result had come, we didn't know, but it is they again they came back from office and they were very happy.
Yeah, I'm sure. And how's the mahal at home now? Like, is it still celebratory and ecstatic? Have things settled
Yes,
down?
definitely. It is everyone is very happy and they are celebrating. But now I think it is bit more that we have it's sinking in that definitely the result has come. So
Hmm.
it is very good.
और आप टेम्पल रन पे गए? सब लोग जाते हैं ना?
यस सर अभी जाएंगे 2-3 डेज में इतना टाइम नहीं मिला है बट देन नेक्स्ट यहाँ पे ऑब्वियसली आई एम इन मुंबई सो आई गो टू सिद्धिविनायक एंड ऑल तो जाने वाले हैं.
चलो, wonderful. So tell me about your whole journey, Ankita bete. Like, it's been a fairly long journey, right? So
Yes.
in brief summary kind of a thing, how did you start and when did you start planning for it and when did you start like working on it, everything?
Yes, sir. So this was my fourth attempt, And
Yes.
I had started giving, I had worked for a year after my graduation. I had done my graduation in engineering. So I had worked for a year in IT. And
Yes.
I had given one attempt during that time with the job, but it wasn't a serious attempt. After that, I had quit the job, and then I'd started planning for the studying for the exam. So 23 as well, I'd written the mains, but then I could not clear the cutoff by just 1 mark. So
Hmm.
then 24, I was fortunate to get into the list, and this was my service upgradation attempt. So hopefully, fortunately, I got it.
And the first attempt, you didn't clear the prelims also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So a good thing is that there has been consistent progress, है ना? From not clearing prelims
Yes,
to missing the mains cut off by 1 mark, then getting into IRS. IRS you are presently,
yes,
right?
yes,
In
sir.
and now finally, what service are you expecting?
Most probably, I'd be expecting IPS this year.
IPS. You
Yes.
know, and so does it stop at that? Yeah,
So we'll see. Right now, I'm very happy with the result that I have right now.
that you're still soaking it in, ना?
Yes.
ठीक है. कभी ऐसे लगा कि जॉब छोड़ के गलती कर दी या हाँ?
Sir, the leaving the job was my decision. तो मेरा खुद का decision था, individual decision था. तो I had to stand by it. Definitely, parents का support start से ही था कि I left the job या I just have to study. बहुत बार लगा कि अरे जॉब, rather than regret ये था कि अरे जॉब अगर अभी कंटिन्यू करते तो कौन से स्टेज पे अभी होते या कौन सी अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट थी. पर
Yes.
हमेशा से यही रिमाइंड करते रहे कि जब एक्चुअल में रिजल्ट आएगा तो इट विल ऑल बी वर्थ इट. एंड इट
Yes.
डेफिनेटली हैपेंड दैट वे ओनली. सो आई एम हैप्पी कि जॉब एक्चुअली राइट टाइम पे आई टुक अ डिसीजन टू लीव द जॉब, तो एक्चुअली एनालाइज की नहीं, जॉब के साथ पढ़ाई नहीं हो रही है. तो इतना है कि खुद को बैक कर सकते हैं एक बार, सीरियसली दे के देखते हैं, देन लेट्स सी.
Hmm. And in hindsight, obviously, na, all is well that ends well.
यस.
So it has paid off. But like the first attempt that you gave with job, was it a sincere, genuine attempt? Matlab, did you like really try to crack the exam, or was it just trying to get a hang of the exam?
Sir, I had studied for the exam during that
Acha.
attempt as well. However, I was not able to cover the syllabus properly, because of timing issues and all. And just before the exam as well, I was very much preoccupied with the job. So revision के लिए उतना time नहीं मिला या कुछ. तो ऐसे नहीं है कि पढ़ाई नहीं की थी पढ़ाई वो टाइम पे भी. But then last moment पे जितना ज्यादा push चाहिए था वो नहीं हुआ वो टाइम पे. सो दैट्स व्हाई
Hmm.
देन आई टुक अ कॉल कि नहीं, जॉब के साथ नहीं हो रहा है, इवन दो पढ़ाई हो रही है, बट देन लास्ट मोमेंट के लिए फुल फ्लेजेड थोड़ा चाहिए टाइम, तो इसलिए देन आई क्विट द जॉब.
And first attempt के बाद, it seems you have broadly figured out how to crack the prelims, right?
यस. यस.
Because you've been doing it like you've done it thrice to that,
यस.
है ना? And has it been with a safe margin or
Yes,
just borderline?
23's prelims was a bit on the borderline. I had a plus 5 marks margin. But then again, after that, the next two prelims were safely around 10-12 marks margin was there. So I did not worry about that.
So share some gur to clear the prelims, na? Like,
Prelims is definitely, it's all about how much you bank on your static theory subjects that is there, and how many times you're revising it. So
hmm,
once that knowledge is, you're very confident on those 2 to 3 subjects that will take you the margin that is there. And then again, the PYQs are the holy grail for prelims. You have to
yes.
analyze the last 10 years questions, and not just based on the themes that you're identifying or something, but the rigorous analysis of how the questions are also being asked, from where are they
Hmm.
asked, or rather than what is the structure of the questions. Okay.
So we were discussing about prelims,
Mhm.
and you had said it's all a this thing about PYQs and stuff,
Yes,
right?
yes, sir.
Huh. ठीक है. And you know, like where do you draw the line? Yeah? In the sense, people are inundated with information, content. लगता है ये भी कर लो, वो भी कर लो. You know, how do you deal with that FOMO thing and sticking to few limited resources, the basic ones?
Yes, sir. Sir, I always had it from the beginning that I will stick to my one basic source that will be constant for sure. And any value addition that I might do for any subject will be just one source other than that. I would not go for any multiple source even for value addition. And that too, even if I pick up something else for value addition, that will only be a selective reading and just multiple
Hmm.
revisions of that value addition source. So that was clear for every subject. And even in the sense, what kind of value addition do I need from that extra source? Do I just need facts? Do I need best case scenarios or case studies or something that I want to write, some good examples or points? So I used to read just selectively from those sources also. So rather than taking up on new sources, I still stuck to, even in my later attempts, I stuck to the source of my earlier attempts only. I just value added the new things in terms of data or facts from the latest ones. Otherwise, I stuck to my original source itself.
नहीं तो प्रैक्टिकली क्या होता है ना अंकिता बेटे, दैट say you are attempting some mock test or something,
Yes, sir.
right? And you find knowledge gap कि यार ये तो नहीं पता based on my existing knowledge.
Right.
Then is when students start scurrying for new sources. You need to fill that gap. So how
Right.
did you deal with such situations? आई तो होंगी.
Yes, sir, definitely. I think फिर वो situations में what I used to do is rather than taking up that entire source, मैं जो चीज मुझे identify हुई है कि this is my knowledge gap and this is relatively a core topic या जो मुझे पता होनी चाहिए थी, rather than just कि कोई factual knowledge है, I used to add it in my original source only, in my notes or the basic source. So then that used to
Hmm.
become a part of my actual first primary source only. सो देन वो उसी के साथ रिवाइज होता जाता था. तो मॉक टेस्ट की जो भी आंसर कीज आ रही है या जो भी, तो उसमें से बस एक या दो सेंटेंस के जो थिंग्स कैन मेक अप अ स्टैटिक थ्योरी बेस फॉर दिस थिंग, आई यूज्ड टू ऐड दैट इन माय नोट्स. So then rather than mugging up the facts, I used to just put in the concept in my actual notes, which I felt कि ये मेरे पास नहीं था.
Hmm.
So then that enriched my primary source also.
And so what I sense is basically very selectively adding new stuff,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
है ना? Rather than indiscriminately doing it extremely selectively.
Yes,
Huh?
sir.
Also, Ankita Bete, tell me about this rank improvement that you've achieved and very nicely, right? मतलब a significant improvement जिससे आपको एक अच्छी बेहतर service भी मिल रही है. Oftentimes what happens now, once you reach a particular level of competence in this exam, then one wonders कि अब आगे बेहतर करने के लिए क्या करूं. So were you able to like figure that out कि क्या improvement की जरूरत है, and like did you consciously work on that and see improvement in those things? या frankly bluntly put तुक्का लगा है?
Sir, definitely, I would say कि yes, I was able to get a targeted improvement in my
Good.
main. So last year, I identified that mains was the area wherein there was a huge scope of improvement. My
Hmm.
interview marks were decently good enough. So I was like, कि I have to focus only on mains this year. So that's how I actually narrowed it down. And उसमें भी marksheet के बेसिस पे आई आइडेंटिफाइड पेपर्स जहाँ पे स्कोप है फॉर इम्प्रूवमेंट मोर. राइट
Hmm.
नाउ माय ओनली फोकस वाज कि आई नीड 10 मार्क्स पुश ऑन एन एवरेज इन पेपर्स which will give me a competitive advantage. So उसी
Hmm.
में rather than, because I already had a certain level of knowledge due to the last attempt. So right now I had just focused more on my writing skills and how
Hmm.
I'm presenting that knowledge along with the basic reading that I'm doing. So I think
Hmm.
that translated a lot, and mains did increase this time, and it did give me that rank push because my interview scores were replicated to the same level, and they were good enough last year also. So
Which is how much? Like this time around, how much did you get an interview?
last year
Like,
it was 206 and this year it is
ah,
205. So
so comfortable and amazing, huh?
yeah, yes, sir. Those were
Hmm.
almost as if I was like, my interview is maxed out. I cannot be too greedy to expect more than this, or even if it do come, it won't be, won't be a significant change in my efforts. So the only thing was my means which I had to change.
Hani, and frankly, good that you were able to maintain that
Yes.
level of marks in the interview, yeah, because
Yes. No.
there is an element of subjectivity. So
Yes.
what was the mindset that you entered the interview hall with? मतलब कुछ certain calmness and composure कुछ ज़्यादा ही था या like how was that?
So definitely calmness was there. Or the thing was that I went with that mindset that you have reached the last stage. So right now you are at a point wherein it is not an elimination stage. So even they
That
want
is very true.
to select us. So they are not there to grill us or eliminate us. So they are actually very accommodating and they're looking out for candidates. So that gives a certain weird sense of
Yes.
confidence and calmness to you.
Hmm.
And rather than treating it as
Hmm.
a question answer session, it being a conversation with senior people, with actually experienced people, gives you a confidence wherein you will be honest when you're answering also, and you
Hmm.
won't go very much haywire while you're answering.
Absolutely, yeah. And in the mains, any papers where you felt कि यार ये तो मैंने फोड़ दिया? I mean, once you saw the mark sheet.
Sir, I felt it was again unexpected that, but I felt GS1 was a very significant improvement for me. So
Yeah.
that paper was something that gave a very huge margin.
How much did you score in that?
Sir, I got 115 this year.
Ah, very exceptional, I would say. Yeah. Even among selected candidates,
Yes, sir.
that would be an exceptional performance. Huh? 115.
Yes, sir.
और बाकी और किसमें आपके बहुत अच्छे नंबर आए? Ethics में,
Sir,
में.
GS2 was last year also I had a decent score enough of 114 in GS2. So that
हाँ,
maintained. So I got 119 year this year. So that
wonderful. Yeah.
and GS4 as well. Last year itself I had gotten 119. So there was still
Oh.
and this year GS4 I got 123. So that too. So GS was a component wherein my marks increased a lot. So that was
Hmm.
the thing that went well in my favor this time.
और essay and optional, were they?
Essay, sir, essay, unfortunately, essay dropped in my case. So essay
Hmm.
is the pain point. And optional also, last year actually I had 265.
हाँ.
But this year again, optional as well dropped a bit. It became, in paper one, it dropped. It became 256 this year. So it averaged out because of that.
Marginal drop है वैसे optional में.
Yes.
And you cannot so rigidly, no matter how much you want to, but you can't like ensure like steady progression only na
Yes,
across papers.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. And so share something about your answer writing style in GS, yeah, that you've done so well.
Sir, this year I focused more about how my paper is looking as a whole. So I focused more on how uniform I am writing. So that's why with the points or the core content or the demand needs to be addressed through the points
Hmm.
basically. But at the same time, those value addition things that I'm adding, I made sure that they are visible enough wherein I'm writing the question, and those are somewhat uniform throughout the paper. If I'm adding some diagram or schematic on the first page itself, post the intro, then I made sure that I'm repeating that to 4 to 5 questions wherever I'm putting in a diagram, so that the place of the
Oh,
diagram remains constant, so that it shows a bit a level of uniformity throughout the paper. So that I think
oh.
that is something that I changed this year, added this year. So I think that might have worked in my favor this time.
And that is very challenging, very frankly, because questions differ in their demand or
Yes,
so it would have taken a hell lot of practice, I presume, getting
yes, sir.
that.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
So it
Very well.
required a lot of permutations in terms of because you can't just force things and just write because you have to draw diagrams. You will do it. It also requires which if is it actually fitting there. So
सही बात है.
that required by the end of the time maybe that just fit into place.
Wonderful, yeah. Tell me, what was your sociology optional preparation strategy? How did you go about it?
Sir, in socio itself, firstly, I relied on my class notes that were there. So those were my first source itself. And secondly, I had also referred to Neha Bhosle ma'am's notes. which were
Hmm.
very comprehensive. So those two were my complete sources. And any other thing, if I needed examples or something, I just used to, newspaper was the source through which I used to pick up certain examples. Otherwise, man's notes were very good in terms of examples and all. So those two
Hmm.
were the sources, and I focused more on writing again. So PYQs I used to write a lot, and I'd written tests regularly for optionals. So
Hmm.
tests helped, and again by the end of mains, I had revised the optional 3 times. So revision also
Wonderful.
maybe helped, because I used to have a habit of starting optional a bit early. So
Hmm.
along with the first subject of GS itself, I used to start optional because I wasn't writing mains for the first time. I had the syllabus wasn't new. So even during my first mains, my optional syllabus was over before I shifted to the prelim stage. So during the mains time, I had just started revising. There was no
So
new.
आपने क्लासेस वगैरह कब की थी ऑप्शनल के लिए?
Sir, I
2021 or
had,
sometime.
yes, sir. 21, yes, 21 के end में की थी.
Hmm.
So that that time I had finished my optional classes itself.
ठीक है. And tell me, what would you say was your biggest mistake during this whole while? Hmm? In retrospect, could you have done it sooner?
Maybe, sir, it might have happened sooner or something. I think one thing I would say was a mistake. I focused more on things where it could have improved. I kept on focusing on the improvement aspect while somewhat ignoring things to maintain as well. Wherein already been doing good or was decent enough. I took that maybe for granted that maybe this will get replicated again if I keep
Hmm.
things same enough or something. But that did not happen. So maybe that's what, rather than just focusing on the improvement, you also have to not be complacent. That
सही बात है.
already that you're good at, you have to keep on brushing that as well.
So true. Now, this exam can be a very humbling experience for the best
Yes,
of
sir.
us actually.
Right.
है ना? He tells you कि नहीं, you are still not ready enough or good enough to clear the exam. ये बताइए कि what would you say are some of the common myths associated with this exam? This whole UPSC preparation thing, which are popular, maybe you also subscribed to at some point of time in your preparation and later figured out कि नहीं ऐसा नहीं है.
Right. So firstly, I would say that the biggest myth that everything under the sun is the syllabus or the syllabus is
Hmm.
too fast is the biggest myth, and that is not true at all. You can be very strategic, and the syllabus is very comprehensive and clear. So that is one thing. And so second myth, I would say that reading or developing the knowledge, that is not the only thing. Reading multiple sources will give you results, is or reading too much will give you results is not entirely true. Rather than having
Correct.
right limited sources and reading them multiple times is something that will
Absolutely.
give you result for sure. That is the two things. And third is, I would say that there's no guarantee in this exam, or the unpredictability is always there. So the myth
Hmm.
that if you've done it once you can do it again is not completely true. The Any
Absolutely.
stage of the exam can definitely knock you out at any point, so you have to be very honest in every attempt that you're giving.
सही बात है. I know so many IPS selected students. उनका फिर प्री नहीं क्लियर होता,
Yes, sir.
which is very
Right.
uh, surprising to an external observer. Hmm?
Yes,
बट
sir.
वो इसलिए नहीं होता ना क्योंकि उसके लिए उन्होंने एज मच एफर्ट नहीं डाला होता. साफ
Yes,
बात है.
right.
टेल मी, कभी did this exam adversely affect your relationships and your social life in very drastic ways?
So I wouldn't say that it affected in drastic way. Yes, definitely because of the exam, I was very much in isolation, or always in that zone of studying, and also I had definitely cut out everything. friends या जो भी है, and mostly even because in my friend circle or something I was the one who had switched. तो काफी friends भी ऐसे similar background वाले prepare करने वाले हैं नहीं. So yes, definitely that
Hmm.
did take a toll when for such a long time you are in it. So this thought definitely occurs in your mind कि अरे बहुत सालों से इसी में है. It is like your life is on a pause or in the same loop and you're not getting out of it.
Correct.
But I would say that again, you have to find certain outlets or certain ways to break that loop only. So, yes,
Yes.
definitely having that negative thought spiral is very normal. I would be lying if I would say that kabhi aise nahi hua. You will reach rock bottom at some point of time, and that is normal.
Hmm.
You just have to find your way of an outlet to break that thing and just focus on the
Yes.
thing that matters the most.
Did you ever frankly compare yourself with friends who were in the corporate world and rising and earning more? Ki yaar, did that sense of jealousy set in ki
Sir, more
कहीं मैं
than
पीछे तो नहीं रह गई?
myself to others, I was actually because I had a number or a package already that I was. So I used to
Yes.
compare it to that. I used to extrapolate it with the number of years. 2 साल में ये अभी इतना होता. And so that used to come, that thought used to come. But again,
Hmm.
it's a matter of pulling yourself back. Ki you remind yourself that why you're actually giving the exam, and again reinforcing that thought कि जब होगा तब ये सारा चीज it will become equalized. So
सही बात है.
that's it.
More than anything else, it's a mental, academics से ज़्यादा mental challenge है ये exam. Would you
Yes,
agree? Hmm?
definitely.
And were you like off social media or
So it was controlled. I wasn't completely shut off social media. I was there on because somewhat news or something I used to get from Instagram or something like that. So I was there, but then yes, it was very much controlled. My notifications were off and all. So that much I had there. That much of a self control I had in me that I can control myself if I have my phone somewhere else, then I don't have to. So since the notifications are off, so it was only as if when I pick up the phone, that's only when I'll be doing it. Otherwise, I won't be
Hmm.
distracted by it. So it was controlled in a way, and I was using it as well.
And like how did you manage this, consistency in studying for hours and hours, like for years altogether? It gets to you ultimately. मतलब इंसान को लगता है ना वही लक्ष्मीकांत, वही स्पेक्ट्रम, वही किताबें, वही नोट्स.
Yes, sir.
Gets dull and boring initially. तो चलिए मजा आता है नए नए सब्जेक्ट्स और नया नया ज्ञान प्राप्त करने में, but after a point of time it gets to you.
यस सर, डेफिनेटली वो मजा बस स्टार्ट के 7-8 महीने तक आता है जब तक
Yes.
आता है. उसके बाद सब बोरिंग हो जाता है. तो वो
Correct.
डेफिनेटली है, एंड वो अब तक भी मुझे बोरिंग ही लग रहा था कि अरे वापस वही पढ़ो. बट देन अगेन उसमें देन इफ यू कीप शफलिंग हाउ यू आर स्टडिंग, सिर्फ पढ़ नहीं रहे हैं तो अगर स्टार्ट में बड़े स्लॉट्स रख रहे हैं 5-6 घंटे के पढ़ने के, अब अगर बोर हो रहा है तो 3-4 घंटे के बाद या 2 घंटे के बाद यू कैन ऐड इन समथिंग डिफरेंट. टेस्ट सॉल्व कर लिया या आंसर्स लिख लिए, तो आई थिंक वो कॉम्बिनेशन चेंज करते रहे तो थोड़ा बोरिंग या फटीग थोड़ा कम आता है. बट देन आई थिंक एग्जाम ही सबसे ज्यादा ट्रिगर या वो फटीग कट कर सकता है. जैसे जैसे एग्जाम पास आ रही है, जितना डर बढ़ते जाता है ऑटोमेटिकली आप पढ़ रहे हो, तो द फटीग डज नॉट मैटर एट ऑल देन.
सही बात है. दैट्स सच एन ऑनेस्ट आंसर. तब डर इतना लग रहा होता है कि थकने का समय नहीं होता है इंसान के पास. What was the biggest distraction that you had during this whole preparation?
So I would say not a distraction. This feeling of fatigue and stagnation or something, that was the biggest thing, because
Hmm.
that only started every time that negative thought spiral. अरे कब होगा, cycle में फंसे हैं बस. So I think that was the biggest distraction. Others were small small things because those were anyways controlled. I could control them. But this
Hmm.
thought which was very frequent, and to overcome it every time was very difficult and taxing for me.
And how did you maintain your sanity? like
So
it
then I used to either अगर खुद से नहीं हो रहा है या something, I am a sports person too, so I used to go to play. So that was my 1 hour or half an hour as to go and went out on the court.
regular, like on almost a daily basis, or
So
4 5 days
yes,
a week.
I used to go daily, but close to the exam, I used to cut it down, say 1 month or 20 days before prelims. And those mails phase, didn't go every day or something. I maybe go once a week or something. So,
Hmm.
but then regularly I used to play if I do have time. That was the.
Wonderful.
And second was again, people who were preparing with me, your friends just went out one day, call them up and just eat their half an hour or something, and then you can then rewind and say.
And you didn't berate yourself, didn't feel guilty कि मैंने 1 घंटा इस चीज में बिता दिया, उसमें बिता दिया, and not with the books.
सर आई थिंक स्टार्ट में मुझे पहले इनिशियल इसमें लगता था कि अरे इसमें टाइम वेस्ट हो जा रहा है, कि आई एम थिंकिंग टू मच अबाउट इट, यार ये खेलने चली गई. बट देन इफ यू लुक एट इट फ्रॉम अ लॉन्ग टर्म परस्पेक्टिव,
Yes,
अगर मैं जबरदस्ती वो टाइम पे पढ़ने बैठती तो मैं एनीवेज कुछ पढ़ रही नहीं थी. इट वाज जस्ट अ मिराज और एन एक्सक्यूज. मैं बस बुक
absolutely.
वो लेके बैठी थी. तो उससे अच्छा मैं 1 घंटा जाके खेल के आऊंगी. So I guess
Yes,
I'll be refueled to study more effectively for the next 2 hours or even the next two,
absolutely.
3 days. So I think that is very important to see it that way.
Yes, and to be able to, to have the maturity to understand that is very important.
Yes,
Most candidates, frankly, lack it. उनको लगता है कि एज अ स्टूडेंट मेरा धर्म है कि मैं केवल किताबों के सामने बैठा रहूं,
yes,
even if not studying. They'd
yes,
rather not enjoy or not. They think कि नीरस जीवन जीने से ज्यादा चांस इंप्रूव होगा क्लियर करने का, which is quite contrary to their reality.
yes, sir.
uh, Tell me about sociology, Ankita Vite. uh, did studying this subject in any way change you as a person, or is it too much to expect from a subject?
No, so it definitely changed me as a person. And
Yeah.
I had complete technical background. So I had switched to sociology and it was definitely a different subject. But a very fundamental change that it did for me is that it completely changed the perspective in which I am seeing just even day to day things that are
Hmm.
happening. And I think that happens with the syllabus itself, ki those topics itself are so relatable, and you get to know so many different things about things that are such ordinary in day to day, and they can have
Correct.
such a huge formal backing to it. That was a
Correct.
very big change for me.
सबसे ज्यादा शॉकिंग रेवलेशन क्या थी कि अरे ये तो ऐसे होता है या इस तरह से नहीं सोचा मैंने? एनीथिंग?
Sir, I think two topics were very much revealing to me. One was definitely the caste system entirely. कि obviously idea था या basic, you know what it is and how it does exist. But
जी.
then उसके सारे explanations जो थे, सारे theories जो बोले हैं. So it can have an economic angle to it and such huge this thing. Though that was again very revealing. And second was maybe it might be my bias or soft corner, but the gender aspect and the complete feminist movement or everyone's arguments as to based on how much the role of a woman in the society is restricted by so many different aspects and such mundane things that the dual burden concept, or she not being able to literally have her meals before anyone else in the house. So those were, and that being a huge point in the theory itself. That was very revealing for me.
कोई थिंकर जो आपको सबसे ज्यादा लगा कि यार इसने बहुत पते की बातें की हैं, या ये बहुत रिलेटेबल सा व्यक्ति है, या बंदा है, बंदी है, whoever?
So there were two. एक तो Weber was, I felt, was very balanced in all his theories, so that was that related a
Hmm.
lot. And Marx, I felt, even though he was a bit extreme, or but then you cannot deny the fact कि हाँ वो point तो है. आप कितना भी बोलो कि ही इज एक्सट्रीम या कुछ ज्यादा ही हो गया है, बट देन पॉइंट तो है. यू कैन नॉट डिनाई कि वो जो बोल रहे हैं वो एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता है.
सही बात है. व्हाट वुड बी योर एडवाइस टू समबडी कि क्या दिल्ली जाना आवश्यक है प्रिपरेशन करने के लिए यूपीएससी की?
Sir, I would say that it is completely subjective decision for sure. But rather than आप अगर जा भी रहे हो तो your basis of whether going anywhere should be आपकी पढ़ाई कहाँ हो रही है. आपकी पढ़ाई अगर घर पे भी हो रही है तो
हम्म
it is you can anyways definitely get connected with sources in Delhi or classes जो भी है. Now it's very convenient. सो रादर
हम्म
देन लुकिंग कि मुझे कहीं जाकर ही मेरी पढ़ाई होगी क्या, इट वुड बी पुटिंग ऑन टू मच प्रेशर ऑन अ प्लेस ऑफ योर
हम्म
कि वहां जाके ही मेरा सिलेक्शन होगा. रादर देन यू हैव टू एनालाइज कि अगर मेरी पढ़ाई वहां जाके भी नहीं हो रही है देन यू नीड टू
हम्म
बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट अबाउट इट टू योरसेल्फ. तो यू हैव टू बी वेरी ऑब्जेक्टिव इन टर्म्स ऑफ बीइंग सिलेक्टिंग वेर यू आर और वेर यू स्टडी. दैट इज वेरी.
हम्म। ये तो है, इनफैक्ट रिसोर्सेज तो आज के दिन सारे ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल हैं, वेदर दे
Yes,
आर कोर्सेज एंड टेस्ट सीरीज एवरीथिंग. बट वन थिंग पीपल डू कम टू दिल्ली फॉर इज द माहौल. यू
yes.
नेवर फेल्ट, क्या पता नहीं दिल्ली के पानी में शायद कुछ ऐसा है कि लोग दिल्ली जाके तैयारी करते
सर आई फेल्ट कि मेरे केस में मे बी उल्टा था बिकॉज आई
हैं?
ऑलवेज हैड दैट हैबिट ऑफ स्टडिंग अलोन और सेल्फ स्टडी. ग्रुप में मेरी इतनी ज्यादा पढ़ाई होती नहीं है. तो
हम्म
मेरा ऐसा था कि मे बी वहां जाके इतनी पढ़ाई होगी नहीं एंड घर पे बैठ के बस पढ़ना है, किसी और चीज का ध्यान नहीं है. या यू डोंट हैव टू लुक एट अरे खाना कैसे है, कहाँ पे रह रहे हैं.
Absolutely.
सो वो एडवांटेज हमेशा से घर पे था. तो दैट वाज देयर. तो मे बी दिल्ली ना जाना वाज अ गुड डिसीजन फॉर मी बिकॉज इट वर्कड आउट फॉर मी. या सिर्फ टेस्ट सीरीज के लिए जाना या टेस्ट देना एंड ऑल, सो दैट इज समथिंग दैट वर्क फॉर मी. बट हर किसी के लिए इट माइट नॉट बी देयर. माहौल किसी कोई कोई लोगों के लिए वर्क कर जाता है कि कंपनी में बैठ
हम्म
के या सारे साथ वाले टेस्ट दे रहे हैं तो चलो उनके प्रेशर में तो एटलीस्ट हम जाके दे देंगे. So that can be a positive impact on you as well. So it can vary from person to person.
इनफैक्ट ना, घर पे जब बैठ के व्यक्ति प्रिपेयर करता है, यू डू सो इन मच मोर शांति का माहौल.
Yes,
Delhi and the Karol Bagh environment can be very overwhelming for a
ye-
lot of students. When you see that sea of humanity preparing for UPSC ना,
yes,
उसी से इंसान थोड़ा
yes,
taken aback हो जाता है.
definitely.
Tell me, what's the most useless kind of worry that UPSC aspirants carry on their shoulders, which maybe you also did or you know of people who did?
So I think thinking about the final result way before the exam or even giving the paper is the
Hmm.
most useless worry, I would say.
Hmm.
जो चीज अब तक हुई भी नहीं है एंड तुम्हें एक चांस भी नहीं मिला है टू एक्चुअली गिव इट अ शॉट एंड उसी के पहले हम ये सोच रहे हैं अरे नहीं होगा, क्या होगा अगर ये साल नहीं हुआ. तो दैट इज द मोस्ट यूजलेस वरी, आई वुड से. कि
Hmm.
हाँ सब हो जाने के बाद इफ यू आर थिंकिंग अबाउट इट देन मे बी टू एन एक्सटेंड इट कैन बी वैलिड कि अब आपके हाथ में
Hmm.
कुछ भी नहीं है तो आप खाली हो तो खाली बैठे हो तो कुछ ना कुछ दिमाग में आएगा ही. पर एग्जाम हुई ही नहीं है और हम इस बात के बारे में सोच रहे हैं कि अरे क्या होगा एंड ऑल. उससे अच्छा जाके पढ़ो, राइट. तो
सही बात है.
स्टडी. तो आपके हाथ में जब कुछ है तो फोकस ऑन दैट देन फोकसिंग ऑन द अनकंट्रोलेबल. सो दैट इज
Hmm.
समथिंग दैट विल ईट अप योर टाइम अलॉट.
That is so true. But I would, if I were to hazard a guess, I would say that most aspirants or most people in general, not just in the UPSC field, they are very, hankering for the end result,
Yes.
right? And not doing so requires a particular process orientation, you
Yes.
know. या वो जो निष्काम कर्म की भावना है ना,
Yes.
हैविंग दैट मेच्योरिटी की भैया वो बाद में आएगा और ऑटोमेटिकली आएगा अगर आना होगा, एज एन
Yes.
आउटकम ऑफ द प्रोसेस रादर देन. But and that is what is very also very anxiety inducing for most people, you
Yes.
know.
Definitely.
ठीक है. ये बताओ, like, did any of your, people close to you, like family or close friends, did anybody ever say कि छोड़ो ये preparation, या any negative comments you got from anybody?
Well,
whose words mattered?
sir, I would say that I was very fortunate कि मेरे आसपास
Yeah,
जो थे, they were very supportive. There was one thing
wonderful.
that I actually hadn't told anyone that I was actually giving the exam. मैंने किसी को नहीं बताया था कि मैं एग्जाम दे भी रही हूँ, या रिश्तेदार हो गए या फिर आजू बाजू के नेबर्स हो गए सोसाइटी में, सभी को यही लग रहा था कि मैं अभी भी जॉब कर रही हूँ, वर्क फ्रॉम होम चल रहा है और मेरा यही है। सो किस वो एस्पेक्ट फॉर्चुनेटली निकाल ही दिया था मैंने इक्वेशन से, तो वो प्रेशर नहीं था मुझे बिल्कुल। एंड पेरेंट्स भी स्टार्ट से बहुत ही सपोर्टिव रहे मुझे। याद है जब फर्स्ट मेंस नहीं हुआ था, मैंने मम्मी को कॉल करके बोला था शी कम होम, एंड द फर्स्ट ओनली सेंटेंस दैट शी टोल्ड मी दैट डे, एंड मे बी आई नीडेड दैट ओनली दैट डे, कि इट इज फाइन, नेक्स्ट टाइम तो हम दे ही रहे हैं, तो इट इज फाइन, नहीं हुआ है तो हो जाएगा नेक्स्ट टाइम। सो दैट इज अ वेरी
Matter of factly.
रीअश्योरिंग, यस सर, दैट वाज वेरी रीअश्योरिंग फॉर मी, एंड वेरी एप्टली टाइम्ड। अगर वो टाइम पे किसी ने कुछ और बोल दिया होता, देन इट वुड हैव बीन अ वेरी बिग थिंग फॉर मी।
वंडरफुल यार, एक तो यू डिड दिस ग्रेटेस्ट सर्विस टू योरसेल्फ कि आपने बात फैलाई नहीं प्रिपरेशन की, है ना? अदरवाइज दैट होल सोसाइटल प्रेशर बिल्ड्स अप, एंड कमेंट्स एंड अनसोलिसिटेड एडवाइस एंड एवरीथिंग एंड कंपैरिजंस, तो वो आपने बड़ी अच्छी तरह से अवॉइड कर लिए। एंड दिस सपोर्ट सिस्टम दैट यू हैव, दैट इज enviable, I would say. uh, would you say like okay, tell me any popular preparation book or material which you thought is somewhat overrated or doesn't deserve the pedestal it is put on?
So I wouldn't say it is overrated or something. It is
Hmm.
again can be your choice in how you're following that source. So I
Hmm.
would say that for sociology itself, I did not read essential sociology. So that was not because I found it overrated or something, but because I had some other source and I felt that this is good enough. So I did
Hmm.
not read that. So rather than popular source being completely exhaustive and the only way, I would say that if it is not something that you feel you can cover, so rather than that, you can find an alternative source for that. And if that
Hmm.
source is good enough, even if it is not a popular choice, if it is good enough, then आपका काम हो रहा है. At the end,
Absolutely.
is the end result that you want. आप कोई भी source follow करो, it is the same for you. आपके
Exactly.
marks निकल रहे हैं या आप perform कर रहे हो, तो it doesn't matter कौन सा source.
Yes, and like I also always tell the students कि UPSC is source blind. वो
Yes.
ये थोड़ी ना पूछ रहा है कि लक्ष्मीकांत में क्या लिखा है इस बारे में या एसेंशियल सोशियोलॉजी, वो तो वो नॉलेज का नॉलेज एस्पेक्ट पूछ रहा है ना,
Right.
फ्रॉम इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ वेर एवर यू अक्वायर्ड इट फ्रॉम,
Right.
राइट? ठीक है, टेल मी व्हाट वुड यू से इज अ वेरी toxic kind of habit that is common to a lot of UPSC aspirants, if you had a friend circle who've been preparing with you, or maybe you yourself tried to steer away from certain toxic habits?
So I think that biggest thing is about the FOMO that gets created with respect to the
Hmm.
sources. So अगर
Hmm.
एक साल मार्केट में कोई नया सोर्स आ गया रिगार्डिंग करंट और सम टॉपिक और सम सब्जेक्ट, तो फिर वो
Yes.
साल सभी लोग वही करते हैं एंड नॉट नेसेसरली कि सिर्फ सोर्स पढ़ेंगे। देयर इज अ फोमो और एक्चुअली अ फियर क्रिएटेड दैट इफ यू डू
Hmm.
नॉट डू फ्रॉम दैट सोर्स तो कुछ रह गया है या बहुत मेजर चीज है जो हमने नहीं की है। सो आई थिंक
Hmm.
दैट इज समथिंग दैट बिकम्स अ बिट टॉक्सिक, क्योंकि कोई अगर एक इंसान वो चीज करने लग जाता है, दे it creates a chain reaction that three more people or four more people will get joined with it, and then you feel, Arey, is it actually are you not falling behind or something?
Hmm.
So that is something I feel that is not right.
Hmm. ठीक है. Uh, do you think UPSC is an exam which is like for anybody and everybody, or like, because we have like lakhs of students jumping into it and then spending years of their prime youth preparing for it, and zahir hai ki handful get selected, but does it make sense for people, irrespective of academic background, socio-economic background, to consider UPSC or civil services as a career choice?
Sir, I feel that definitely it is a very good career choice. There's no denying
Huh.
that. So we cannot undermine that for sure. And the exam, yes, people across backgrounds can give it. But what makes it very, or which is the most important factor is that you actually have to not only be very clear with why you actually want that job or their career, but then you have to be very strategic and practical about it as well. Usually we fall into that emotional trap and then of clearing the exam and make it very holy, and we give a lot of years. But then we have to be practical in the sense that we also have to start thinking about a plan B after some
Hmm.
significant amount of time. And you have to also know when to stop if you're not producing those results. You need to be very honest if you're stagnating and you're not able to cross that threshold. So
Hmm.
that is something that you have to introspect at a very regular time period, so that it actually gives you the reality.
सही बात है. And it also frankly becomes difficult with passage of time, because
Yes,
you get more emotional and less rational about
yes, sir.
the way you evaluate the whole process and your
Definitely.
preparedness for it. Very well. Uh, Tell me, like, I'm sure your family must have played a very important role. Uh,
Yes, sir.
just elaborate on that, whether academic ho, moral support ka ho, jo bhi, all your family members, parents, and any siblings, किनका क्या role रहा?
Sir, definitely family was the biggest support system throughout this entire journey as well. And
Hmm.
during academics as well, at our home, it was very clear that academics is that was a good education is something that we should have. They have always supported me in all other extracurriculars as well. I have been a sports person since my childhood. I have done my Visharad and Kathak, and all of that I've done. I've played nationals till I was in school, even during my college itself. So,
Hmm.
my parents have been supportive in my extracurriculars, but at the same time, they made sure they always highlighted that your academics should also not be compromised. You can balance it out to a great level,
Hmm.
if not achieving too much in academics, but you need to have it at a decent level. So, that mindset was there in my house since childhood. So that gave me a very good sense of multitasking or time management since early on. And during this journey as well, my parents and my sibling were definitely a support system in terms of
Hmm.
how much time it is taking, or every failure or something. They were always there to pump me up. They were there dropping me for my prelims, mains, during interview as well. All the three of them. I have a younger sibling, so all three of them had come. I remember my brother had cancelled his college visit. He had a trip or
अच्छा.
something during my interview date, and he had booked everything and all, or their college was taking them for a visit, but then he had come just because it was my interview. So the family has been a very big support system throughout the journey for sure.
Sure.
Mhm.
Amazing है, कहते हैं ना, it takes a village to raise a child. वही वाली बात है. You
Yes,
are the face of this success, but
yes, sir.
it involves the efforts of the whole family, possibly,
Yes, sir.
right? So I'd say success belongs as much to them as to you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, possibly more to them than to you.
Yes, sir. Definitely more to them.
है ना? ठीक है. Ankita Bite, tell me any song or any share, anything which captures your mental and emotional state at present. Anything you find relatable you'd like to share?
Sir, I had a fixed set of the songs that I used to listen to even before giving tests or exams and all. So one song I used to always listen to before the test was Hindi song of I am the best by that was one of the songs of Shah Rukh Khan. So I used to listen that just to give me that calm sense and that confidence just before entering the classroom. So right now it feels more about being on cloud nine rather than being the best. But definitely that is one of the songs that has been constant throughout my journey.
Yeah, you're a dancer. Do you also hum songs?
Yes, sir, just as a bathroom singer or a part-time singer rather than
So
lower singing.
sunaiye, whatever is coming to mind.
I can hum the same song, sir, if you it starts
Please.
um, कोई हीरो यहाँ कोई जीरो यहाँ कोई बेकार है कोई स्टार है मैं क्या करूँ तुमसे मैं क्या कहूँ है सच तो ये दोस्तों आई एम द बेस्ट आई एम द बेस्ट आई एम द बेस्ट
You are the best.
थैंक यू सर
Wonderful. That was very sporting of you to have sung. And thank you, Ankita Vite.
थैंक यू
It
सर
was wonderful talking to you. And wish you all the best for your career in the civil services also. Yeah. I also hope that you stay grounded, stay calm with your head on your shoulders, right? And जिस सोसाइटी को आपने इतना अच्छे से समझा है उसके प्रति अब अपना थोड़ा योगदान दें एंड यू डू recognize that you've been blessed in many ways,
यस सर
right? So it's time to perhaps pay back a little,
यस सर
right? Wish you all the best.